James Creedon's here. We're looking at the debate, clearly. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you, Mark.
Good to see you, good to see you. The New York Times has compiled a timeline of senior Republicans who've now withdrawn support for the Republican presidential candidate, one Donald J. Trump.
That's right. They've had to update this quite a bit. And so essentially they have added scores of names that of the people who have pulled out following his vulgar remarks that were released on the tape. So you can see there on the computer, I think, quite a long list of names. 160
now.
More than 160 don't support Donald Trump. Here's when they reach their breaking point. So several had already reached their breaking point prior, right, to the vulgar remarks. You can see, if you could scroll down through that, various remarks that were made and the points at which people sort of pulled out on the right-hand side. You can see there was a kind of an accumulation.
And of course, this is a reminder of all the remarks he's made as well. It was an interesting piece, isn't it?
It's an impressive document. Now, the latest, as we saw, to sort of unendorse Trump in some respects, is Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House. And Donald Trump has responded on Twitter saying that Paul Ryan should spend more time on balancing the budget, etc., and not waste his time on fighting the Republican nominee.
This surely is unprecedented, that you have this situation where the party candidate is not backed by the House Speaker.
It is, totally. But the thing is, I think for Donald Trump, while this does seem quite catastrophic, he built his entire campaign on being an outsider, on being anti-establishment, even anti-Republican Party establishment, and it got him to where he is now. So it might seem disastrous, but you just never know with,
and of course,
with this campaign.
What he said, you think it would alienate women, but that might not necessarily be the case.
Well, I've seen some women who support him regardless. So it seems that he has developed this reputation of shooting from the hip, of sort of not being politically correct, and some people are just going to support him because he's the anti-establishment candidate. And you can see here others saying, you knew this about Trump when you endorsed him, Republican leaders, and you did it anyway. So there's a lot of articles coming out now saying a lot of the Republican sort of senior party members who are sort of now, what would you say, revising their decision?
Revising the decision, regretting their decision.
Regretting their decision.
Hiding their head in the sand.
Well, that's it. But some journalists saying, well, shame on you. You knew. In any case, there you go. So much stuff on this, Mark. I'm going to have to try to whiz through some of it. Breitbart and several media seem to think that this is his comeback.
Right-wing website, isn't it?
It is indeed, and the former head of that website is now the CEO of Trump's campaign, and Breitbart is really sort of one and the same, if you could say, as the Trump campaign. They even, it appears, paid the travel expenses for one of the ladies who was in the audience claiming that Bill Clinton had...
That's Breitbart that did that.
That's right.
Okay.
So there you go. In any case, for Breitbart and for the people that are a part of the Donald Trump campaign, it was a big success. The the debate went very, very well. It was a knockout, Trump's campaign spokesman said.
So they would. You'd expect them to come up with something positive because they need to.
And the thing is, from the perspective of those who do vote Donald Trump, you could say it was Donald Trump at his best. Now, despite the fact that he was on the back foot defending himself vis-a-vis the locker room claims. Will we get to the locker room?
Can I mention the locker room thing? Because
yes.
I've played football to a decent level, and I play rugby now, and I've been in lots of locker rooms. I've never heard anybody use the kind of language, the way he used it about women in any locker room.
Well, what's interesting...
So I wish Donald Trump would get rid of this phrase calling it locker room stuff, because it isn't.
I think, yeah, he was trying to say this is how men will talk to each other when the women aren't around.
It's his own grim invention,
It's sort
basically.
of machismo, a little bit of machismo. We'll forgive that machismo. But actually, a lot of people online saying, no, this is the kind of real locker room talk you see. My knee is still making that clicking sound. You think that's weird? I suppose you would hear that in a locker room. Bro, it's quite American lingo, but to be expected. Bro, quit popping me with that towel. Maybe I should be doing this in an American accent, but anyway.
Go for it, Jen. Embrace it. Come on.
Can I borrow some of your Axe spray? That was pretty good, right? Anyway, we'll finish with this one. Did you hear that new moronic thing Trump said yesterday? So
That's real locker room talk, isn't it?
Yeah, the sort of people talking to each other in the locker room. Okay, now a couple of more details on social media. What looks like? What do you think is going on there, apart from a presidential debate?
Delano, what do you think is going on there, Delano? Tell us.
It's a duet.
They're obviously singing a duet, obviously, right? And it's obviously Endless Love. Endless
love.
Sorry.
Well, we could redo it here, but
could all get sacked.
Anyway, it mightn't be that, you see, because I Will Always Love You. It could also be that. Anyway, I think that's hilarious. I do think that's quite funny. Now, he also mentioned at one point the fact that he well, I think it was Hillary Clinton brought it up, that he tweets at 3 a.m. This was the reference to a sort of a Twitter rampage or rant that he went on regarding her allegations during the last debate about sort of uncorrect, or what would you say?
The former Miss Universe.
That's right, the former Miss Universe, saying that she was a housewife there. Anyway, tweeting is an effective way of communication, he said. I'm not unproud of it. And a lot of people pointing out that unproud doesn't exist as a word, and it's just a bizarre thing to say anyway, that he's not unproud of his tweeting. So a lot of people did pick up on that little quote as well. And seeing as this is Twitter, I said I'd finish.
He does have a weird phraseology, doesn't he, when he speaks about things. This is without looking at the content or who he's offending or why it's offensive.
Right.
He does have a weird way with words.
And his supporters like it.
Okay. For now, maybe that'll change. James, thank you very much
Mark.
indeed. Thanks to Delano as well for his interventions and for his coughing and for the business. Thank you, sir. Look after that throat. Look after that throat, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you for being with us. Stay with us. More news to come.
Could you hear?
All the time.
Everyone's sick.